Yasodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Jasoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Jasoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading third canto, chapter 27, text 17, text 26. Oh no, chapter 26, chapter 27. Yeah, chapter 27, text 17. Yeah. Chapter 27. Yeah, chapter 27, text 17. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devahutir Vacha Purusham Prakritir Brahman Na Vimuchanti Karchit Anyo. Let's see. Where do we have it in now? Anyonya Apasharavat Cha Nityavat Anoya Prabhu Devahutirvacha Purusham Prakritir Brahman Navimunuchit Karshachit Anyonya Pasrayo Tatvacha Nityadvadanayo Prabhu Devahutirvacha Purusham Prakritir Brahman Navimunchati Kachit Anyona Pashachatvacha Nityadvadanayo Prabhu Devahutirvacha Purusham Prakritir Brahman Navimuchati Kachit Anyonaya Pasha
Nitya Prabhu. Evahutirvacha Purusham Prakriti Brahman
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Navimunchati Karhichit
Navimuchati Karhachit
Anyonya Pashrayatvacha
Anyona Pashachatvacha
Nityatvadanayo Prabhu
Nityadvadanayo Prabhu
Devahutirvacha
Devahutirvacha
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Navimunchati Karhichit
Navimunachi Karhachit
Anyonya Pashrayatvacha
Anyona Pashachatvacha
Nityatvadanayo Prabhu
Nityadvadanayo Prabhu
Devahutirvacha
Devahutirvacha
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Navimunchati Karhichit
Navimunachati Karchit
Anyonya Pashrayatvacha
Anyona Pashachatvacha
Nityatvad-anayo Prabhu
Nityadvadanayo Prabhu
Devahutirvacha
Devahutirvacha
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Navimunchati Karhichit
Navimunachi Karchit
Anyonya Pashrayatvacha
Nyodasapachatvacha
Nityatvad Anayo Prabhu
Nityadvadanayo Prabhu
Okay, online chanters.
Devahutirvacha
Devahutirvacha
Purusham Prakritir Brahman
Purusham Prakriti Brahman
Navimunchati Karhichit
Navimunchati Karhichit
Anyonya Pashrayatvacha
Anyonya Pashrayatvacha
Nityatvad Anayo Prabhu
Nityatvad anayo Prabhu.
देहुतिरुवाच
Devahutir uvacha.
पुरुषं प्रकृतिर्ब्रह्मन्
Purusham Prakrtir Brahman.
नाविमुञ्चति कर्हिचित्
Navimunchati karhichit.
अन्योन्यापाश्रयात्वा च
Anyonya pashrayatvacha.
नित्यत्वादनयोः प्रभो
Nityatvad anayo Prabhu.
Okay, great. Word by word, sir. Devahutir Vacha. Devahuti said, Purusham, the spirit soul, Prakriti, material nature, Brahman, O Brahmana, Na, not, Vimunachati, does release, Karhichit, at any time, Anyonya, to one another, Apashatvatvat, from attraction, Cha, and Nityavatvat, from eternality, Anayor, of them, both. Prabhu, O my Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Devahuti inquired, My dear Brahmana, does material nature ever give release to the spirit soul? Since one is attracted to the other eternally, how is their separation possible? Devahuti, the mother of Kapila Dev, here makes her first inquiry. Although one may understand that spirits, soul, and matter are different, their actual separation is not possible, either by philosophical speculation or by proper understanding. The spirit soul is the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, and matter is the external potency of the Lord. The two eternal potencies have somehow or other been combined, and since it is so difficult to separate one from the other, how is it possible for the individual soul to become liberated? By practical experience, one can see that when the soul is separated from the body has no real existence. And when the body is separated from the soul, one cannot perceive the existence of the soul. As long as the soul and the body are combined, we can understand that there is life. But when they are separated, there is no manifested existence of the body or the soul. This question asked by Devahuti of Kapila Dev is more or less impelled by the philosophy of voidism. The voidists say that consciousness is a product of a combination of matter, and that as soon as the consciousness is gone, the material combination dissolves. And therefore, there is ultimately nothing but voidness. This absence of consciousness is called nirvana in Mayavad philosophy. Yeah, so Prabhupada mentions that Bhagavad Gita, that nirvana simply means the cessation of material activities. So he was saying that maybe it's good for the yogi to do some yogic gymnastics for the time being, or do some sitting in some breathing meditation. So at least he's not engaging in some nonsense right now. For the meantime, he's not engaging in some nonsense. For right now, right? So the Bhakti Yogas, we know that we're not engaging in nonsense because we're engaging in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's yoga. That's linking with the Supreme through devotion. So all the other things are also included, or the results of all of the other yogas. But the breathing exercise, Ashtanga yoga, meditating on the super soul, study of the Vedanta. So we study Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam contains all of the teachings, all the aphorisms and the truths of the Vedas. In a natural setting in the form of past histories. Anything that is allegorical in Srimad Bhagavatam, they specifically do state it's allegorical. So there's a few allegorical chapters. There's allegorical kingdom of King Baranjana. And when King Baranjana went to the different sense gratifications, he was going to the different 9 gates of the city. So the city had 9 gates, and his eventually his life force was arrested, and he was arrested. I guess his kingdom was taken over by invaders. Right, so that's what happens. The body gets taken over by invaders, by diseases, natural calamities, outside forces, and the life force is taken away. And but it's and there's another it's the man is speaking to his wife, and he starts to explain their own history, their own story, but he tells it in the form of a stag and a doe, right? So it was really pretty mystical. I guess that he was a king, right? And he was speaking to his queen. And but yeah, they specifically mentioned another thing. Prabhupada actually said that if the Supreme, in the ultimate sense, the Supreme was impersonal or Brahman, or if everything is here is Nirvana, right, is void, right, or one, he said Krishna specifically would have said so. Like, who is it? I guess it's Ramakrishna that said that. A lot of times they say, okay, I won't even repeat his name here, not in front of the deities or in the temple room, right? But I guess there was a few of them. There was Krishnamurti, Dr. Radha Krishnan. I think Dr. Radha Krishna kind of comes in where he says, it's to the Supreme within Krishna that you surrender to. So it's like, what's he saying here? It's that it's now the Brahman is the most superior thing to everything else. And when you go to read something like Bhagavad Gita, it's really elementary. Here's this person, Krishna, saying, surrender unto me, right? When it's the Supreme within Krishna that you surrender to. What not? Right? So basically Prabhupada is saying there's no difference between Krishna's within and Krishna's without. So that's the where is it? I guess mental speculation and association with the impersonal philosophy. You're just automatically assuming that all paths, all religions, all lead to the exact same impersonal supreme within, right? If you worship Kali or Buddha or Krishna or Christ or Jehovah or Muhammad, right? Ganesh, you go all to the same destinations, right? So there's another one. They have the misconception. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of spirituality. So, you just assume that, everything is within. But Krishna says, man, muda, mudha, man, diskartina, mam, mudha, naradama, maya, daksh, maya haprita jnana, right? Their knowledge is stolen by illusion. Maya aprita jnana. So diskritina mam mudha, fools, rascals, asses. They deride my personal form, right? When he descends, right? So they not knowing his higher nature, is supreme, right? That Krishna is the basis of Brahman and Paramatma. So that was another thing that Param Brahma Prabhu was mentioning. We were hearing about creation again. So he's stating that from the level of the three Vishnus, from where everything starts from the Pradhan, where everything is situated in a dormant state, and it becomes manifest from the most subtle states to the most gross states. Along with it, the senses and the sensual perceptions of each element. And then the characteristics and the quality of each element is described. And so Param Brahma Prabhu, he's saying that, so now here's Mahavishnu is well, he's creating the universes. They're emanating from his bodily pores. Right, and he injects the living entities in the womb of material nature through the agency of his vision, or Sambhu, which is the subtle manifestation of Sambhu. It's Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva and Prakriti, that's well, Prakriti is one name. Maya, Durga. So formerly she was Parvati, the daughter of King Daksha, but she left her body when King Daksha had disrespected Lord Shiva. Lord Daksha didn't give Lord Shiva his place at his sacrifice. So generally, every sacrifice has a place for the demigods, especially Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So Daksha didn't invite Lord Shiva and didn't offer him his sacrifices. And so Parvati, she was very, very much dishonored. So she gave up her body. And then she assumed another body. So she's known as Parvati. Let's see, what are some of the other names? So anyways, that's they're always separated. She is Lord Shiva Shakti. Lord Vishnu never comes in contact with the material energy. That's why it was more at a distance, where it's his vision, it's his glance, just glancing over the material energy. Right? He doesn't come in contact with the material energy ever. And so then from that specific state, right? So we are reading like so many different material elements were becoming manifested, and the sensual perceptions were becoming manifested, right? But there was still no life in the universe, right? One after that, there's still no life in the universe. So the Lord again expands his Garbhodaksha Vishnu, where he's at the bottom of the ocean and Garbhodak ocean in each and every one of the universes. And from him, then Brahma is born. So Brahma is considered a Jita, or unborn. He's born from the lotus flower that comes from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And then this is when the universe finally becomes activated, when the life of the spirit enters into the universe, is when the Lord enters in the universe as Kashara Daksha Vishnu, or the Paramatma. It's within each and every atom, within the heart of the living entity. So he was mentioning that. So I was still trying to think of what Srila Prabhupada was mentioning about this on the creation, the process of creation, the process of extracting ourselves from matter. So the principle is aham brahmeti. Material society is reinforcing material consciousness. So that was another thing they were talking about, like the sporting events. So the sporting event is actually really reinforcing the bodily conception of life. Right, and it's a really, really big production too, and everybody thinks it's a really, really big deal. about the game. Game is on. I know somebody, they got their game completely ruined. They went to San Francisco for the, what do they call it? The baseball World Series. But there was a big earthquake. People died. So you can make your plans, but yeah, at any moment, death can come. Prabhupada was saying your President Kennedy, he was on top of the world. He was young, the youngest president in the United States, leader of a very, very big, large, prosperous nation. He was happy in one moment. It was all finished. You know, was it confusion and mayhem? The first lady didn't know what to do. She was in shock. She was kind of freaking out, kind of hysterical. So those are the pitfalls and dangers in the material world. In fact, that's one of the characteristics of a devotee or a sadhu, or that someone who's making advancement, is understand the dangers of the evils of the material world, or or the danger of staying in the material world. So even if you go to the Brahma Loka or any of the heavenly planetary systems, it's still going to come back down again to the Earth planet, go back down in the lower animal species, hellish conditions, hellish planets for sinful activities, over and over and over and over again for millions, millions, millions of years. 8,400,000 species of life. So now we've been granted this rare opportunity to engage in devotional service, to go back home, back to Godhead, rather than staying within the material world and transmigrating. In the material world, especially the lower species, they don't understand what's going on. Well, they don't understand what's going on with them. You know, I see the cat, when the snow's out there, the cat is kind of testing the snow, tasting it, testing it with their hand, kind of pawing at it, kind of trying to figure this thing out. They're sitting out there in the lawn. There's like all these birds. They're hear them in the environment all around. Whenever it rains, they living entities have to take shelter, the thunder and the lightning. You see them, they run, they scatter. So it's a harsh struggle for existence in the material world. So there's constantly seeking shelter, food, defending, family life. So those are the characteristics of the material world. When there's Krishna, like when we sing Jaya Radha Madhava, that's like a window to the spiritual world. What they're saying are the paintings, the artwork, the windows to the spiritual world. So when we hear these things, when we see these things, like, okay, well, here's your friends, here's Krishna. Remember Krishna, your friend Krishna? Mother Jasoda, Nanda Maharaj, your friends, the cowherd boys, right? The gopis, the gopas, the cows, the calves, the peacocks. So that's what Prabhupada was saying. A crazy person, a crazy fellow, someone who does not know who he is. So I said, here in your city, what's that? Your mental hospital, Bellevue. Jai Gora Nitai Ki Jai. So, Jai Gora Nitai Ki Jai. So a person haunted by Maya or grossly haunted person, someone who's speaking all nonsense, is crazy. So he's put in the mental hospital, or someone who has amnesia. So I said, you know what they do? They bring someone in, someone like his wife or his friends, and they talk about the old times. If you can try to remember something, if something just kind of clicks and comes back, then their memory comes back and they can remember everything. So that's just exactly it. So when we're chanting Hare Krishna and we're hearing about Krishna's pastimes, so just somewhere along the line, like a person who has amnesia, if something kind of clicks somewhere along the line, we become Krishna conscious and regain our original Krishna consciousness, which is now dormant within the heart. So transferring our account from bodily consciousness, aham brahmeti, to spiritual consciousness, aham brahmasmi. So that's the whole point, is our good friend ahankara, in association with material mind and intelligence, which will be coming up. Did we read this one yet? We're still coming up. The Lord Kapila Dev's instructions are is that the mind, in association with false ego and intelligence, again accepts the very same thing that it just rejected in another set of circumstances. Right? You get that? Because the mind accepts and rejects. So according with the intelligence is the plan-making department. Less the intelligence. So the intelligence is planning on how to get the desires, what the steps are going to be needed for that. And so one thing that the mind had just rejected in one specific set of circumstances, when the same thing again is presented in another set of circumstances, and the mind decides to accept it that way, right? So that's the fickle mind and intelligence. So we just think about Krishna, everything's all cut and dry. We have our sadhana, right? It's all cut out for us. Whatever plan making we have our whole day is all charted out for us every day. We have our routine, our program. So the focal point of meditation is the mind. So Krishna says, from wherever the mind wanders through to its flickering and steady nature, we must certainly withdraw it, bring it under control of the self. So we have meditation, mindfulness meditation through the day, where we're mindful of Krishna rather than daydreaming or thinking, contemplating, or objects of the senses from within the mind. Prabhupada was talking about that. That's a show bottle spiritualist who's thinking or meditating on sense gratification instead of on Krishna or on the impersonal Brahman or void, right? But he's thinking about he's fantasizing within his mind sensual activities. So he's certainly deluding himself, and is called a pretender. So let's see. Were there any questions or comments or subject for discussion? Or maybe we just end class there then, or it's almost time. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam class ki jai.